I'm trying to sneak in a little fishing on MCC Island while I'm paying my bills. However, both of these tasks distract me from the other one, and it's taking a lot longer to get anything finished. Hey y'all, I'm the Southern man, but my friends call me Tasoma. Even with a master's degree in education, I still fall into the trap, as many of us do, thinking that I can do two things at the same time and do them well. We all think that multitasking is helping us be more efficient, but is it really? I want to explore the idea of multitasking and its cousins, switchtasking, backtasking, hypertasking, in the context of some tasks in Minecraft. One of these may actually be ruining your life. Another one is pretty beneficial if used correctly. Let's dive in and explore these ideas together. Technically, we multitask all the time. Our brains are built to receive multiple sensory inputs, like the sight and sound of a creeper, as well as to perform multiple motor outputs, like screaming and running, all simultaneously.
Multitasking may be broadly described as performing two tasks at the same time. However, back in 2008, author Dave Crenshaw redefined multitasking as more of an umbrella term with two subtypes, backtasking and switchtasking.
Switchtasking occurs when we cycle back and forth between two tasks that require similar mental and/or physical resources, which reduces our effectiveness and efficiency at performing either task.
This switching can happen so fast that we're not even consciously aware that we're doing it. That's why we believe this fallacy that we're actually good at multitasking, when really we are switching rapidly between two tasks and incurring costs of speed and accuracy each time. Let's demonstrate this in Minecraft with a block placing speed challenge.
Our challenge is to place a row of pink wool and a row of lime wool as fast as possible. On the right side, let's do this one color at a time. 12 seconds. Not bad if I do say so myself. However, on the left side, let's switch up our technique and alternate placing a pink wool and then a lime wool back and forth. I promise I'm doing my very best, but I'm definitely slower, and I'm even making a few mistakes. Try this challenge for yourself and see what your times are. Wow, 32 seconds, more than double the time of the first attempt. It's really all about our mental and our physical resources. Imagine a breaker box. When all the appliances are plugged into outlets on different breakers, the electrical load is spread out between them, and there's enough power for everything. However, if the appliances are all drawing energy from the exact same breaker, there is a potential to overload the system. Compare this to our own personal resources. Each breaker might represent a different type of resource: sensory, motor, cognitive. If we attempt multiple tasks that use the same resources, we might not have enough to power both processes effectively.
For tasks that demand high resources, we can only effectively complete one at a time. We need to focus all our attention on that task in order to complete it quickly and well. This is known as singletasking or monotasking. We demonstrated this in our block challenge by placing only one color of block at a time. This is the preferred method to focus our attention on a singular task. Singletasking can lead to increased productivity and less stress, making it the best way to tackle our most important tasks. However, if we can add a task with low resources or different resources, we can essentially get two tasks done at the same time.
This is the concept of background tasking, or backtasking for short. In backtasking, we complete a primary task that requires significant resources. However, at the same time, we complete a secondary task that requires fewer or different resources. If we try to listen to two things at the same time, both using our auditory resources, we can't make sense of either one very well. We have to switch our attention to focus on one song at a time and try to ignore the other. However, if we listen to one song while crafting cakes, one task requires auditory processing while the other requires motor skills and memory. We can more effectively complete both tasks at the same time because they use different resources. The key is to evaluate our tasks in terms of resource type and focus intensity. For any two tasks, consider, are these tasks using the same or different resources?
In considering all these facts, I probably shouldn't be trying to fish and pay bills at the same time. Both of those have some motor resource requirement, and paying the bills requires some cognitive attention. Otherwise, I'm going to make a mistake. By locking in with single tasking, I can be more efficient and effective and essentially save time and energy over the long run.
However, I could consider backtasking during fishing. While it has auditory cues, they are minimal and not entirely essential to gameplay. Therefore, I could pick up a secondary task that uses my auditory processing more, like listening to my favorite podcasts. By choosing two tasks with different resource allocations, I could use backtasking to effectively complete two tasks at the same time.
Wait, if performing two tasks at a time is good, then wouldn't performing 3 tasks at a time be great? No, more is not always better, especially when we want to be quick and correct. This idea of hypertasking may actually be ruining our lives.
There are a couple definitions floating around for the term hypertasking. It could simply mean performing 2 or more tasks at the same time, particularly if doing those tasks simultaneously is dangerous. For example, texting and driving or fighting a wither and a warden requires significant sensory, motor, and cognitive resources and therefore should never be attempted in tandem. Another recent definition of hypertasking is when multitasking bleeds over into more personal areas of our lives. For example, checking work email or watching shorts while eating dinner with the family. That's also dangerous to our mental and social health, as well as to our relationships with friends and family. Here's the too long didn't watch version. The overarching idea of multitasking can be subdivided into different methods. Minimize the use of switchtasking or rapidly cycling between two tasks because it comes with high costs in both speed and accuracy. Instead, try singletasking and focus on one task at a time for maximum productivity. Backtasking, however, can potentially be effective, but only if the two tasks do not require the same type and level of mental and physical resources. Finally, avoid hypertasking at all costs. Don't engage in multiple tasks at the same time that might be dangerous to your health or your relationships.
It doesn't matter your age or your stage in life, we all have important tasks to complete. I hope that this conversation inspires you to consider your own resources and how you effectively use them in performing tasks throughout your day. Good Lord willing and the sun still shines, I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching and bless your heart.